had a whole life before your social media career took off,
did.
and a successful life. And the funniest part about you, I think, is that you're actually so conservative and take your time. You make smart, strategic decisions, very low risk.
Doesn't drink. Doesn't smoke.
You're a great guy who's very risk adverse, and you had a regular ass job working at Apple.
No, an awesome ass job.
An awesome job for sure. Like a prestigious job though. You worked at Apple, right? In the international pay, Apple
I was
Pay.
doing Apple Pay. Yeah, no, it was an amazing phase of my life. Like, when I started Gstaad Guy, it was just for fun. Before I get to that, actually, thank you for your kind words.
Well, I didn't even get to him. I didn't even get to him. But I think we're going in the right direction.
Get to this, but I appreciate it. So I worked on a startup for a while. When I had first met you, I just started working on it. I did well for a bit, and then it went bust. And then I got a desk job at Apple, working on Apple Pay growth. And Apple's a very secretive company that doesn't really love people to be exposed to the camera unless they're part of the process. So the fictional world of Gstaad Guy and the privacy of Gstaad Guy really helped with that, where I could work by day and film videos by night.
You're like Batman.
I mean, Batman's is a stretch. I'd say more like budget Hannah Montana, you know?
Yeah.
And I started filming these videos, and 2 years in, they started to pick up. And I could finally take the leap of faith once Gstaad Guy became lucrative, and I could justify quitting my job and doing this full time and living off of Gstaad Guy and the businesses I start on the back of it. So,
what happened when your boss at Apple found out that you were also making these ridiculous social media videos?
he was pretty supportive.
He was?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at least that's what it seemed like to me. I think people are generally excited for people going on their own path. And Apple is generally a very cool place to work. It changed my way of thinking about things entirely.
What was the ultimate deciding factor that led you to quit your well-paying job?
You were torn.
Yeah,
you were very.
I was
it
torn
took you
for
a
long
while.
time.
Yeah.
I think I've had the blessing of perspective growing up and seeing how money can do great things and how the lack of it can also do bad things. So I've experienced ups and downs, and I think that the desire for stability was such a big part of me getting employed in the first place. I would want to have a stable life and have this job and have that consistency. And it made me very scared to take the leap of faith to become an entrepreneur and do Gstaad Guy full time. So really, I sat on the thought of quitting for a really long time.
Yeah.
And I actually briefly joined Coinbase after we met Brian and Gstaad. And actually, so I left Apple, went to Coinbase very briefly and quit all of that 2 months in. Really because of financial confidence. I think that like hedging risk when you have a pretty good job and it means a lot to you is important, and not to like take a ridiculous leap of faith and just go do something like social media. I think you should wait until you de-risk it a bit. And I de-risked it over 2-3 years. And only once Gstaad Guy was paying me enough could I
Best
justify
advice.
it.
In the
Yeah,
entire
it's
world.
good advice. He did the same.
I call it calculated risk.
I did the
Exactly.
same as well.
Exactly. You did too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like we all had like a viable plan B seemed to be like it could be plan A now.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So side hustle becomes main hustle.
Yep.
Yep.
So let's run it.
And even ironically, I always even found a way to keep my main hustle and made that my side hustle after I left it.
That's great.
So I would find a way, like when I left Lovesac and joined
You consulted
Maverick,
for them, right?
I got a consulting deal with them. So for the first year I left Lovesac, I was actually getting paid by them to do remote work for them while I was doing most of the time here. And
Exactly. That's great.
Hey guys, if you like that clip, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see more zany clips, click the video right here.